Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Tuesday, December 30th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Wenatchee Avenue was reopened last night after a water main break sent water onto the roadway and closed several streets for the majority of the day on Monday. The city of Leavenworth is looking for someone who can help make a visit to town one to remember as its new recreation and tourism manager. Our air stagnation advisory continues through tomorrow with wet and warmer weather to follow. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. Leonard Evans Used Cars will close its doors January 31st after 70 years in operation. The business on the corner of North Wenatchee Avenue and Maple Street said on Facebook that owner Garrett Evans is heading into retirement. Leonard Evans Used Cars was founded by Leonard Evans and Joan Evans in 1955, and Garrett Evans has been the general manager of the dealership since 1980. The dealership expanded to become a new car dealer for Chrysler Plymouth from 1964 to 1980. From 1999 to 2006, it evolved to a Hyundai dealership. Before its final day at the end of January, the dealership says it's offering closeout pricing on all remaining inventory. Wenatchee Avenue was reopened last night after a water main break sent water onto the roadway and closed several streets for the majority of the day on Monday. Crews responded to the 500 block of North Wenatchee Avenue just before 10 a.m., where a 10-inch cast iron water main had ruptured. The cause and extent of the damage weren't immediately clear. During repair, an excavator sank into the ground while crews responded to the emergency, though it sustained no damage, according to NCWLIFE media partner, the Wenatchee World. Some customers may notice discolored water as a result of water moving more quickly in the repaired mains. For anyone experiencing discolored water, the city recommends running faucets for 10 to 15 minutes. A 40-year-old Wenatchee man was sentenced this week to 17 years in federal prison for his part in a local fentanyl ring. U.S. District Judge Rebecca Pinnell handed down the sentence to Stephen Edward Graham, arrested in 2023 in a Wenatchee motel room with more than 7,000 fentanyl pills and $19,000 in cash. His partner, William Cody Swager Larson, was sentenced in Chelan County Court to nearly 4 years for drug possession with intent to deliver. But Graham was indicted on federal charges and was convicted in a jury trial last summer in U.S. District Court in Spokane. He was also found guilty of illegally possessing a firearm that police found at the scene. First Assistant United States Attorney Pete Serrano says Graham qualifies as a career offender under federal sentencing provisions and must be on supervised release for 10 years after leaving prison. The Colville Confederated Tribes are mourning the violent deaths of a tribal court employee and her son, apparently in an act of domestic violence. 38-year-old Laura Dick was stabbed to death December 11th alongside her 17-year-old son Anthony Vieira at their home in Nespelem. Authorities say Dick's former boyfriend, 37-year-old Damian Todd Martinez, called police and confessed after committing the crime. He was arrested at the scene covered in blood. Laura Dick was a clerk for the Colville Tribal Court. Tribal Chairman Jared Michael Erickson said in a statement that the community was grieving the loss of both family members. Damian Martinez is charged with their murders in federal court. When we come back, the Colville Tribes have marked a milestone this year in their project to reintroduce the Canada Lynx to its historic Washington habitat, and Okanagan County wants to know how its residents feel about the cannabis industry. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
The city of Leavenworth is looking for someone who can help make a visit to town one to remember. The city is hiring a recreation and tourism manager who will support the tourism-based economy and lead the development of new community center, regional library, and indoor pool. Other responsibilities include close work with the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce, Autumn Leaf Festival, and other community boards, agencies, and associations. The city is offering a pay range of just under $88,000 to $108,000 annually. The new position will be paid out of the lodging tax and pool funds. The Colville Tribes have marked a milestone this year in their project to reintroduce the Canada Lynx to its historic Washington habitat. 6 kittens were confirmed to have been born this summer to 2 female lynx in the Kettle Range on the Colville Reservation. A 3rd female was known to have given birth, but she relocated her den before her offspring could be counted. Tribal wildlife biologists have been trapping and releasing adult lynx from north of the Canadian border since 2021, hoping they'll reestablish their population domestically. The big cats are tracked with geolocating collars for the first 2 years after release. The effort will wind down this year with one final trap and release season. Okanagan County wants to know how its residents feel about the cannabis industry. The county is undertaking a study of how cannabis contributes to the local economy funded through the nonprofit Economic Alliance. It will evaluate the direct and indirect impacts on employment and wages, tax revenue, and outside industries such as agriculture, tourism, and real estate. Residents are asked to share their input in an online survey, which you can access using the QR code you see on your screen. About 45 operating cannabis producers are licensed in Okanagan County. Coming up next at the end of each year, our news team looks back to find the stories that made the past 12 months unique and unforgettable. In tonight's feature story, we look back at the top news stories from May through August of this year. An air stagnation advisory is in place for our area through tomorrow, followed by wetter and warmer weather conditions. I'll have your local weather details coming up, followed by Eric Cranstrom with all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services. a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
What do you think of that?
Pretty big, I like it.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
Well, the news from 2025 was so vast and carried such weight that we can't do it justice in one evening. Tonight is part 2 of our look back at the year that had just passed and all of its hope and heartbreak, including one story that devastated a family and their entire community. Here's the top stories of 2025 from May through August. Our series will conclude tomorrow night on New Year's Eve.
In May, Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris disclosed that he'd violated Idaho fish and game law after harvesting a cougar. Morris shot the animal on property he owns in Latah County, but rather than claim it using a wildlife tag he already held, Morris asked his son to purchase him a cougar-specific permit after the fact. Morris paid a $500 civil penalty to settle the misdemeanor violation. Morris announced in December that after 2 terms, he will not seek re-election as sheriff next year. The hunting case is still under review by the Washington Criminal Justice Training Commission, which oversees police standards in the state. The city of Wenatchee filed an order on May 12th to revoke the conditional use permit for Lighthouse Christian Ministries, which operated a food assistance center for the homeless on Columbia Street. The city said it received multiple nuisance complaints from businesses and employees within a block of the outreach center, which served roughly 400 visitors each month. The shutdown became effective in August. Earlier this month, the ministry filed a federal lawsuit against the city, saying its permit was revoked arbitrarily and without due process. Everett-based fusion company Helion submitted its permit applications to build on a portion of the Chelan County PUD's 401-acre Rock Island Dam property. Helion proposes to generate electricity from nuclear fusion, and the PUD has expressed interest in a partnership to serve the ever-growing local power demand. If everything goes smoothly, Helion hopes to begin generating fusion power in 2028. On Memorial Day weekend, 3 young sisters went missing from their home in Wenatchee. The kidnapping and murder of the Decker girls, 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia, would grip the Wenatchee Valley and the world beyond for the next 4 months. From the discovery of their bodies along Icicle Creek to the recovery of their father, Travis Decker's skeletal remains in late September, he was the only suspect in his daughter's abduction and killing. In their memory, the girl's mother, Whitney Decker, created the Hope Scholarship, a charitable fund for children pursuing soccer and dance in the Wenatchee Valley. In June of 2025, a Wenatchee man proved himself a hero when he came upon a lumber fire that was spreading to nearby houses. Frank Gonzalez called 911 and rushed into a basement apartment on Ringgold Street to pull an occupant and his dog to safety. 2 homes were damaged in the 2-alarm blaze, which broke out on a day when temperatures reached 87 degrees. The man rescued by Gonzalez was treated for smoke inhalation, and 6 firefighters were given intravenous fluids to recover from heat exposure. A Wenatchee family lost its matriarch in an Arizona homicide case. 91-year-old Mickey Crater was fatally shot at her family's vacation home in Sun City by a neighbor who believed he was protecting the property from squatters. 72-year-old Gary Mertz took his own life after shooting Mickey. He also wounded her son Dwayne in the incident. It was the second time in less than a year that violence had broken out at the Crater's vacation property. Mickey's other son, George Crater Jr., is jailed and still awaiting trial for allegedly beating an occupant in the home to death over unpaid rent in the autumn of 2024. It was back to school minus cell phones for students in the Wenatchee School District and elsewhere around north central Washington. The Wenatchee School Board in June approved a policy banning cell phone use during class times. High school students got the option to use Yonder pouches, which hold phones in a locked bag until the end of the school day. The Pomace Fire, NCW's first significant wildfire of the 2025 season, was detected in June. It would eventually reach 3,600 acres, burning dead and fallen timber in the Glacier Peak Wilderness northwest of Entiat. The Pomace Fire never posed a threat to homes, and it was later dwarfed in significance by the Lower Sugarloaf and Labor Mountain fires. An estimated 1,500 people were on hand June 14th for Wenatchee's second No Kings rally of the year, voicing opposition to Trump administration policies on immigration, the environment, the economy, and more. About 7 million people took part that day in protests nationwide. In July, Wenatchee Valley College reached settlement terms with a science professor who sued WVC over alleged gender-based harassment and retaliation. Bobby Johnson's story was a focus of NCWLIFE's award-winning Campus Crisis, which investigated claims of a toxic work environment and a lack of action by college leadership. The settlement awarded Johnson $1 million. As part of the agreement, Johnson did not return this fall to teach at Wenatchee Valley College, where she'd been a professor for 4 years. EZ's Burger Deluxe saw its future become uncertain as the city of Wenatchee made plans to acquire a portion of the restaurant's property for 2 separate traffic and pedestrian projects. Owner Pete Azetta warned that would make it impossible to operate the popular restaurant at that location. Supporters of the business descended on Wenatchee City Council meetings, urging the city's Public Works Department not to pursue the plan. The discovery of human remains at a Spokane homeless encampment put an end to a 3-year Okanagan County manhunt. Sheriff Paul Boudreau confirmed the remains were those of Dylan Harrington, who'd been sought by police ever since the February 2022 murders of David and Geraldine Covey on their property near Cheesaw. DNA and dental records showed the remains found in April were those of the wanted murder suspect. A small plane went off the end of the runway at the Kashmir-Dryden Airport, crashing into the roof of a house nearby. 2 people were on board and were taken to Confluence Health Hospital for their injuries. The occupants of the home were not hurt. The National Transportation Safety Board determined the pilot failed to clear the house during an aborted landing, and the air density during the hot weather contributed to the crash. Gordon Edgar retired at the end of June as Douglas County's chief prosecuting attorney. He had held that office for 6 years. In July, Douglas County Commissioners appointed Edgar's replacement. Sean Patrick Lewis is a longtime civil attorney who most recently worked for Chelan County and for the city of East Wenatchee. In August, 2 people in a Grant County long-term care facility died, and many more were sickened by a COVID-19 outbreak. The outbreak infected more than 45 residents and staff. The facility began taking steps including routine COVID testing and isolation for residents who tested positive, while public health agencies lent them air purifiers to help minimize the spread of the virus. Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore hired a chief deputy for his office. Brant Capel was approved for the new post by a vote of the county commissioners. Capel is a former Republican candidate for county commissioner himself and previously served as a legislative aide for 12th District lawmaker Keith Gaynor. It's the first time the auditor has had a chief deputy. Capel will be paid just under $91,000 a year. Wenatchee Valley College received a warning from the body that oversees college accreditation, saying the college was out of compliance with standards around how it handles complaints and harassment amongst staff. The Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities took action against WVC following a special visit to the campus in April. In a letter to President Famous Harrison, the commission recommended administrators and supervisors receive ongoing training on ethical management and how to handle complaints and grievances. The commission is requiring WVC to address and resolve its shortcomings by August 2029. A former Las Vegas fire commander became the new fire chief for the city of Moses Lake. Arthur J. Perillo III was named head of the Moses Lake Department. After 25 years in fire services, Perillo replaces former Chief Brett Bastian, who retired in January.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Tuesday. Today, a lot like yesterday, and we're pretty much in a persistence forecast mode, which means our weather isn't changing a whole lot day to day, and that will be our case as we get into tomorrow. But boy, I don't think anybody's complaining about the blue sky that we enjoyed this afternoon. Great shot outside our weather window from this afternoon, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley. This is our tower cam up on Wenatchee Heights. And as we make our way into the week, things will change by the end of the week and into the weekend, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Unofficially today, our high temperature, 35. 32 is where we should be for this time of year. 48, our record high, and that was set back in 2011. We were at 23 this morning, exactly where we should be for this time of year, at 23. And look at this record low from 1968. 21 degrees below zero. Sunrise 7:48 and the sun set this afternoon at 4:19. All right, taking a look at your Wednesday temperatures, of course, New Year's Eve tomorrow. And as I mentioned, a lot like today, 36s for Moses Lake and Ephrata, and then a bunch of 35s from Quincy down to Ellensburg, also Wenatchee, Entiat into Chelan. A little bit cooler in the higher elevations, Leavenworth and Cashmere tomorrow with a high temperature of 34. Tonight, we can expect mostly clear skies, mainly thanks to this ridge of high pressure and this area of high pressure that's all the way down in New Mexico and into the panhandle of Texas. It will continue to bring us stable weather, but some chilly air still funneling in. About 25 for a low tonight. New Year's Eve, mostly sunny out there. It will be a quiet day, a lot like today, with high temperatures in the mid-30s tomorrow. And then as we get you into New Year's Day, we will see cloudy skies and a weather change. Big area of low pressure will move in. That'll bring us about a 50% chance of a rain-snow mix on Thursday, with high temperatures again into those mid-30s. That wet weather will continue as we get you into the end of the week and Friday. Cloudy skies, low pressure still out in the Pacific, and there you have it, about a 60% chance of a rain-snow mix, maybe even freezing rain. But we will warm up. Temperatures on Friday into the upper 30s, and that trend will continue as we get you into the upcoming weekend. We're going to see a double shot of low pressure on Saturday. Cloudy skies, about a 50-50 chance that we'll see the wet stuff on Saturday. Going to keep warming up too, with high temperatures Saturday all the way up into the low 40s, almost 10 degrees above where we should be. And we end the weekend on Sunday. Another area of low pressure will kick some more moisture our direction. Only about a 30% chance that we'll see a rain and maybe a rain-snow mix Sunday. Look at those temperatures again into the low 40s. And then at the end of our forecast on Monday, things stabilize a little bit on Monday, mostly cloudy. We're going to stay on the mild side with this very warm southwesterly flow. High temperatures Monday in the low 40s. All right, time now for your 7-day forecast, brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 25 overnight tonight, mostly sunny and quiet again tomorrow, and 35. And then things begin to change as we get you into New Year's Day. Cloudy, a 50-50 chance for the wet stuff, 35 degrees. We'll stay with about a 50% chance for rain Friday and Saturday, but notice the warmer temperatures. 38 Friday, 42 Saturday, just scattered showers Sunday with mostly cloudy skies on Monday. High temperatures staying above normal into the low 40s. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Grantstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
And a good Tuesday to you. The Seattle Kraken's 4-game winning streak came to an end last night in a shootout loss to the Vancouver Canucks, 3-2 the final. Jared McCann and Ryan Winterton provided the Kraken with the offense, but Seattle could not come up with anything in the shootout.
for 1 minute and 6 seconds. Jared McCann, one-timer, score! Jared McCann! Got it! 1-0 Seattle. Run off the face-off, a power play goal.
But when you throw an elbow like that, that should be a penalty. And
just like that, Linus Carlson ties the game at 1. Melanson, he'll carry in, has some speed, has some time. Melanson in front, they score! Ryan Winterton got it! 2-1 Seattle.
I got people texting me all the time, letting me know that the shots are coming from John Bonforzi.
Here's a Pettersson who scores! Elias Pettersson took the feed from Evander Kane, and we're tied at 2. Stevenson comes back for Seattle the other way, tried to cut back in front, loose, and Ellie Tolman into the line. A shot broken, stick deflected right on. Lankinen with a save, he'll hold on. Back to McCann, let a shot go, the save made. Berkeley Catton turns, he'll let a shot go, the save made again by Lankinen.
2 shoulder saves by Kevin Lankinen.
Well, I think that's fair to say. Here's a chance for Ryan Winterton cutting in. He'll let a shot go, save made. Rebound back in front. Lankinen with a save off McCann, he'll hold on to the blue line. And we are going to head to overtime. Shane Wright dropped it off. Trying to cut in. Here's a chance for Wright. Shoots and the save made. Penalty upcoming against Vancouver. He's tied up by Hronek.
He's made a couple of dynamite plays here.
9 seconds left. Puck comes free. Here's a one-timer in front. Save made by Lankinen. Offense done. And we are going to head to a shootout. All right, Eberle looking for his first shootout goal of the season in round number 3. Here's Jordan Eberle in. Save made by Lankinen, low on the glove side, and he scooped it up easily, and Vancouver can win it right here. All right, so opportunity for Liam Ogren to win it for Vancouver against Joey Decord. Ogren in, scores. Vancouver wins it in a shootout, 3-2.
Seattle rings in the new year Thursday at Climate Pledge Arena against Nashville. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock on Prime Video and Kong TV. Women's college basketball last night. Washington State pummeled Bushnell. I thought that was just a, you get the binoculars, Bushnell. Anyway, 78-37 the final. Behind the 17 points from Courtney Grossman, Avery Howell and Elle Landine each scored 23 points to lead Washington over Northwestern, 94-73. Gonzaga hosts Pepperdine tonight at 6 on ESPN+. Turning to the men's schedule tonight, number 7 Gonzaga plays at San Diego at 6:30. That's on ESPN+. Washington State and Seattle U meet at Climate Pledge Arena. That's at 7, also on ESPN+. Well, Seattle's defense had a stellar game against Carolina Sunday in a 27-10 win. Seahawks held the Panthers to a total of 139 net yards of offense. That's on the day. The victory with the longest pass play being just 8 yards. Coach Mike McDonald impressed to learn that stat as well.
It's funny you didn't know that until they told us after the game. I'll say this: our guys played a great game. They played really hard. Our communication was on point. I felt like we were ahead of plays, just in terms of being ready to go, like cleats in the ground, making our calls, looking at the right stuff, and then just playing really hard through the echo of the whistle. And that's DBs and front guys included. There's a couple rushes that. That Bryce was able to extend plays, and he's a really good player, and that's going to happen. But there's some rush lane things we can clean up. But for the most part, our guys rushed really well, and they rushed and they played off one another, and I think that really helped. The secondary also come to life as well.
Seattle got some help from Atlanta last night as the Falcons upset the Rams 27-24 to drop LA to 11-5. A win Saturday night would give the Seahawks the NFC West title and number 1 seed overall in the NFC. Now Seattle loses, they could slip all the way back to the number 5 seed with a wild card playoff game on the road at either Carolina or Tampa Bay. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for this Tuesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.